Sound check. 1 2 1 2.
Sound check. Sound check.
Yeah. Shalom.
It's good, my brothers.
What's up? What's up? Yeah. Back with another episode, man.
Shalom, shalom. Love and light to all. We on? I don't see.
Yeah, we on.
Oh yeah, we on.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Here
we
we go.
good.
I had to refresh the page.
Yes, indeed. All right. What's up, fam? Shalom, shalom out there.
Shalom, shalom.
Hope everyone had a great week. Much love and light to you. We want to thank y'all again for sharing the videos, looking at the videos, commenting. We thank you. Ran into some people today. They were saying that not today, Sleeka. Through the week, they were saying the videos are helpful to them where they're at in their life right now. So that's a big ups. And I know this person, you know, they know themselves to be an Israelite. So, you know, sometimes we bring out stuff that some people may not understand, but within their spirit linking with what we're putting out, you know, it's helping them along.
That's interesting because this morning I was just there goes a goosebump. This morning I was just asking my spiritual support team, like, has what we've been doing been helping anyone? You know what I'm saying? And are we speaking at the right levels of understanding and consciousness? And they said yes. So you just confirmed something I asked this morning. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
You always want you always check to see if you in the right place. For me, and I'm sharing this with anybody that's watching, it's like you're always questioning yourself, always asking yourself, am I doing the right thing? And usually when you ask those questions, you ask the creator, the source, you always get an answer immediately. So
Right.
Yeah.
I heard that. Got anything y'all want to add?
No, it's just been a good week, man.
That's good. That's
Good week, good balanced week.
What happened this week? So an interesting story this week. If we're going to talk about the week.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have a coworker that's he's I guess you could say he's TDY or temporary from another shipyard. And we were doing a job this past weekend, and we got into a conversation about, he asked me, do I like tattoos? I was like, I have one, and he's telling me he had 4, and we started, he started telling me about which one, and I saw the one on his arm, and it was like a unicycle. So he told me that the unicycle represented his best friend's sister that passed away, and like about 20 people agreed to get this unicycle, and only him and the best friend had the original design. Everybody else had the variations. So as we're walking, and we're walking for a little while, he continued to tell me the story about the best friend. So I started asking questions. I'm like, okay, how did she die? He said, she had an overdose, cocaine or whatever the case may be. She very competitive with her brother, not in a bad way, just like he's going to join the Air Force. She's like, I'm going to join the Air Force. But due to certain situations, she got put out of the Air Force. And she went into kind of like a depressive state for a while. Still being, want to do things. She got into the Navy, and I think she did 3 years in the Navy. And for whatever reason, I didn't ask, he didn't say, she got out after 3 years. And he said that's when she got into drugs, and eventually she passed from a bad batch. Maybe she got a hold of a bad batch. So as we're talking, I'm sitting there, initially going back, the conversation, I started talking to him about like everything's connected. I don't see anything as you, me. I see us all as one manifested. Like I'm here to have this conversation with you, and you're here to give me the opportunity to share with you, and vice versa.
Right.
So it started off initially with that thought about it's a connectivity. If you pay attention to the people that's around you, the people that you meet, it's very minute, and you may not notice what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of us are so occupied in our daily routine that we miss the connectivity between a random stranger, somebody that you might see at the coffee shop and say, you might give them the head nod or whatever.
Right.
So we got back to the parking lot where we were parked because we were waiting to see what else we need to do for the job. And something just said, what I was like, what day did she pass away?
Mm-hmm.
What month did she pass? He said November. I said, November what? He said November 10th. I said, that's my birthday. I said, that's the connection. The conversation wasn't random.
Right.
It was to prove a point to him. He didn't ask me. I don't know what he got from it. I said, for you, it might just be something. I was just sitting there like, wow,
Right.
and I got goosebumps right now. I was just like, wow. But I say that to say it's like we're all connected. And I'm not going to say this is what the conversation was for,
Right.
but it may be something in his life that he needed at that moment to make something clear, to make get an understanding of a bigger picture that was always there that you don't know. Because one thing he said, she was a free spirit. She was a free spirit. And when he said it, the hair stood up on my back. And I was like, free spirit. That means she came here people do things in a way that we may look upon as negative. A free spirit is someone that you can't contain them with a religion. You can't contain them with your ideology. You can't contain them with this is the way societal norm said it should be. So because you can't contain them, you look down on them, and you may even use that word as free spirit as a negative thing. But ultimately, these people are here to show us something, whether within us, because definitely it's an opportunity to see who you want to be when you're looking at this person, who you're going to choose to be towards them. So I guess that's going to kind of like segue into our conversation about like what we considered light, dark, shadow, light, love, negativity, good, evil, so on and so forth, and hit us with the title.
The paradox of polarity of the one infinite creator, love and light and negativity.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
I don't know where to start. So, I'm gonna look at
So like
starter over there.
So why a paradox?
Why is it a paradox?
Yeah. Why is love and light and negativity a paradox of the one infinite creator?
Because so again, we're only human beings, and we can only conceptualize things on an intellectual capacity to make sense to each other.
Some of us.
Right. So again, we're not saying anything to convince anybody anything. We're just sharing a perspective, and the perspective is there is only one source, there is only one mind, only one divine being. In essence, it's what we would call the absolute. Right. So if that is the absolute, then it could be nothing that could come from outside of it, because then it wouldn't be the absolute. It wouldn't be the all, as some would call it, the source. And it can't take away from itself, because then once it takes away from itself to create something else, it wouldn't be whole. It wouldn't be absolute. It'd be less than. So understanding that, the first Hermetic principle is the all is mind, pure conscious awareness.
Right.
And the universe is mental. It is an emanation or a formation of dimensionality, or a dimension that's a paradox in itself to say far removed, because it still is a part of. But for the state of those who are watching, we're going to use the terms far removed from the highest vibration to a lower realm is what we see as a material universe. Right. Now, the paradox comes in is when we look at things from a left and a right side. You have your right hemisphere of your brain, you have your left hemisphere of your brain, but it's one brain. It's your brain.
It's your brain. That's right.
of which, somebody could say like different sides of the brain, they operate, what's the word I want to use? Codependently. Is that correct?
Right.
Like, one is more logical, one side is more logical,
Right.
one side is more, creative.
Right.
Right. And from that, you get different expressions of said person.
Or different experiences based on these, right?
Yeah.
But it's one brain.
Yeah, it's one brain.
So we're talking about really one thing, but paradoxically, because we function the way we do, we see it as a right hemisphere and a left hemisphere,
right.
and the emotional, intuitive, and the intellectual and logic. But they function as one.
Right.
Right? So that gets you into the construct. See, what's the name of that book? The symbolism of man.
Man and his symbols.
Man and his symbols. When you get into these psychological,
you can use that.
Psychological aspects of symbolism, because remind you, every symbol, let me not say every, but I would like to say every symbol that you see has some deeper meaning that taps into your actual soul understanding.
Exactly.
People go study this when they come out with advertisements and so on and so forth. So when you get into like the ancient symbol, or ancient symbol of the yin yang, it's one thing.
Right.
But you can see there's a black side and a white side. The black side has a white circle in it. The white side has a black circle in it.
Right.
And one would say it represents feminine and masculine,
exactly.
light and dark. But each one has a little bit of the other in it.
Inside.
But really, the yin yang in itself is one thing.
Exactly.
So the paradox is in its function. Is where does one begin and one end?
Right.
Which goes into the fourth principle.
Right.
Straight line, positive and negative, but where does one begin and one end? It's a spectrum.
Right.
And when we think about all these things, as when you say a materialistic person and an enlightened person, it's a spectrum. It's not like you cross a definitive line anywhere. It's no lines. It's no lines of embarkation or debarkation.
So no beginning and no end.
No beginning and no end. It's just a person has to get to a place of consciousness, a conscious awareness of that frail area of saying, you know what, that seems a little negative for me, and I'm not going to get involved there. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean that the next man that's sitting right next to you could say, no, I think I'm going to go there.
That. Yeah.
So it depends on an individual's state of awareness and being, and what is love, light, and negative for them.
Right.
However, you can come together as a family, a group, a nation, and stand on certain principles.
Right.
In agreement to say, okay, I don't really fully agree with this, but I'm gonna, in order to sustain this group or sustain this protection, or to sustain this nation or family or whatever, you may digress your, what's the word I'm looking for? Resolution about a thing to,
or your ideal of a thing.
I'm gonna have to look at that word. It's not resentment.
No, because I
you know what I'm trying to say?
Wait, back up to the original start of your phrase.
Premise.
Your original premise.
You may have reservations about a situation or a thing. That's the word I'm looking for. Sorry, not resolution. Reservation about a certain thing, and then you may see, for the highest good of all, I'm gonna still uphold what we're gonna agree upon.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got it now.
So that's what the paradox is. The paradox is what is really love, light, and what is really negative, because it's all equally valid in the scheme of the one infinite source.
Is it so, to kind of scale that idea down? Is it all valid in the progression of soul development?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say so. Someone else may say no.
All good.
Right.
I mean, but that's the very same paradox that we're explaining.
Yes.
Where you would say yes, somebody else
would say no.
Right.
Right. But that's the balance of the spectrum.
That's the balance of the spectrum.